be here at Marion Military Institute. I can't say that I always felt that way when I was a cadet here, but I certainly have learned over the years to appreciate what this school stands for, what it means, and what it contributes to our nation. And I never want to not acknowledge, when I have the opportunity, how special and how important this institution is, not only to Alabama, but to our nation. There are not a lot of students here compared to some of our other academic institutions in Alabama, but the ones that are here are damn special. And I can tell you, I know that for a fact because there's so many that were here with me who are not here today. And I'm here because of the sacrifice they made. They made the ultimate sacrifice. And there have been cadets that I have known since I've been involved with the university over the years that also are not here. And a lot of the things around this campus are named for them and for the sacrifice they made. So I want all of our leaders to think about this right now. Tonight, when we're in our warm homes, eating our meals, watching television, some of these kids are standing on a wall somewhere, so you can do that. And there may not be many, but they are really, really strong and important. So I'm humbled and honored to be here, to respect them and to support them. And if we can't be out there on the wall with them, we damn well can support them here. And that's what we're here to do. It's always a distinct pleasure for me to be able to introduce the governor of the state of Alabama. But it's especially pleasing to me to be able to introduce this governor. Truth is, probably, I was always in love with her anyway. We first met when we were like a lot of these kids at Auburn. And the minute that I met her, I knew she was something special. I'd known a lot of people, men and women, up until that time, but I don't think I'd ever met anybody as articulate, as intelligent, and passionate as she was about everything. She was so well versed in 1963 and 4 and 5 and 6 as to everything that was going on in the country, in the state, and she had a passion to want to help make it better. And throughout her career, she has dedicated her entire life to serving. What an honor. And she came into our state at a time when we were really in a tough spot. And she took hold of the reins of government, and she turned this state around, and she fixed a lot of things. And during her administration, we have made more progress than I have seen in my lifetime. She has dedicated herself not to politics, but to service and to make this state better. And so many things she's done. Y'all didn't come here to hear me speak, so. But last night I was reading, I love to read, and I was reading a passage. Alexander the Great said, "I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by sheep. But I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Let me introduce to you the lioness of the state of Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy, for that warm welcome, and thank you for your friendship of long standing. President Monahan, local and state officials, and other distinguished guests. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's an honor to be here in Marion to celebrate this important milestone for one of the most unique institutions of learning both in the state of Alabama and in America. Marion Military Institute has a rich history, tracing its roots back over 180 years to 1842, with the founding of Howard College. It soon adopted a name change, and its now famous high standards of character, academic achievement, and military traditions continue to be its hallmark well into the 21st century. Long a private institution, incorporating a high school and junior college, in 2006, Marion Military Institute joined the Alabama Community College System. Today, MMI is synonymous with the highest caliber of learning and preparedness as its cadets pursue careers in either military service or other disciplines. Its many graduates are leaders changing our state and nation, and their impacts are felt literally worldwide. Just over 10 years ago, I was honored to speak at the commencement here at MMI as Alabama's Lieutenant Governor. Today, as Governor, I am equally proud to help usher in a new era of expansion and modernization as we cut the ribbon on this $11.5 million dining hall facility. Representing the first new construction on campus in over 3 decades, this beautiful facility will grow with MMI serving up to 500 people. And it's only the beginning of a new wave of transformation in this institution's appearance and mission. Thanks to the hard work of former U.S. Senator Richard Shelby and MMI alumnus Jimmy Rane, $35 million in funding was secured over a year ago for the construction of a state-of-the-art new math and science facility. When it is completed, MMI will have an even greater impact upon STEM education in Alabama and across the nation. The future looks very bright indeed for Marion Military Institute and its cadets. Let me say again, I am proud to help set this positive change in motion, and I look forward to another 180 years of leadership in Alabama's and America's oldest military community college. May God continue to bless each of you and the great state of Alabama.
Good morning, and that's 2 hard acts to follow. And plus filling in for Mr. Baker, our chancellor. He called me in, I guess it was Wednesday, and he was upset. And you don't see him upset often. Colonel Monahan, he had lost a dear friend that he graduated high school with, and the funeral was today down in Coffee County. And he asked me to fill in, but he just said a few words about Marion, and I'm just going to share those with you real quickly to try to send some sentiment. First thing he said was, you know, that's a special place. And the way I perceived that as I was driving in this morning is what a beautiful drive-in from Montgomery, Alabama. Just gorgeous. But I started thinking, what really makes Marion special? Well, it's the service. It's what's happening here at this college. And how does Marion accomplish this? And I bragged to Colonel Monahan when I got here, one of the things that Chancellor said, he said, you know, that Colonel Mollahan is a leader, and he's done a fantastic job at Marion, and we're so thankful for the work he's doing. I will say, and I'm sure he probably will say the same things, but when you're in a setting such as this, it takes a lot of people. And he's also got great faculty staff here that help make this place as special as it truly is. But I will not stop there, and I'm not going to name any names, but we're fortunate in this state to also have a governor, her staff, our legislators who believe in the mission of our community college, to giving back, to serving those. You know, we have a little bit of a different mission. We don't generally care where you come from, what you look like, what your circumstances are. We'll give you an opportunity. And we just want to thank our delegation, our governor, for investing in our community colleges. And I will say, I heard the $35 million, but I would say by a 2 to 3 year end, there should be over $60 million spent on this campus and in this community that's so important to the state of Alabama. So grateful to so many, and I send regards from Chancellor Baker, but thank you all for being here, and again, thank you, Colonel, and your staff for what you're doing to serve the most important part, and that's the cadets that are here getting a quality education and moving on to be successful in life. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And that's the reason we're here. Good example standing right over there. I want to first of all thank all of our special guests for being here today, and it's great to see all the faculty and staff here as well. And you're right, Chris, we don't do this by ourselves, you know. All those folks are making this happen, and that's the end result over there. So welcome everybody to this new dining facility and to this special occasion we have today. Although we've been operating for about 4 months now, it's great to finally get around to having this official ceremony as we cut the ribbon for this. You know, I'd like to first acknowledge 2 elements of the local community with whom MMI has a very close relationship. First, the city of Marion, especially Dexter Hinton. Mayor, it's good to see you here. Not only for his and his staff's support of MMI, including the provision of the services that are essential to the functioning of this facility, but also for their efforts to secure desperately needed infrastructure funding to modernize city services in general, and you're doing a great job with that, Mayor. Second is Main Street Marion for its work to revitalize Marion's downtown in coordination with the city. You know, I mention these 2 because as much as MMI is absolutely critical to this community, and it is, especially with the recent closure of Judson College, the fact is that everything done to improve this city is absolutely critical to MMI. So to all of you all that are doing that great work, keep it going. We appreciate that. Now, today's ceremony allows us to acknowledge that for MMI's fully on-campus residential educational model, the dining service provided within this facility is absolutely mission essential for us. This has always been true, and for the previous 60 years up into including this past December, the dining service was operated in the basement of Rane Hall Barracks, which is right next door to this facility. But now with this new dining facility, we have the first new building to be constructed on this campus is over 30 years, as the governor mentioned. And like all MMI facilities, this new dining facility sits on historic ground where history is all around us. It's a history that begins with the founding of Howard College right here in 1842, 182 years ago this year. It extends through the Civil War, when Loveless Barracks, which is just the next barracks down, and the chapel, both built in the mid-1850s, and both still in use today, were then used as a hospital complex. And then Loveless Barracks, after the war, used to house free slaves, who in 1867 helped to form the Lincoln Normal School less than a mile from here, one of the earliest HBCUs in the country, and which later became Alabama State. It's a history that includes the establishment of the military model, a model that was established in 1871, a model that we still use today. It defines MMI. And the name Marion Military Institute that was formally chartered in 1887 from the remnants of Howard College, which later became Samford University. MMI's history spans World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, Vietnam, the Civil Rights era, within which the town of Marion played a very key role. It runs through the turbulent 60s, when MMI's football program was known as a feeder for Bear Bryant at Alabama. And I know you remember that, right, Jimmy? It spans the Cold War era. It runs through the racial and gender integration of the 70s and sweeps into the 80s and 90s when enrollment declined and the closure of the school became a constant concern. It includes rebirth, when MMI's junior college joined the Alabama Community College system in 2006, but also loss when the MMI High School stood down in 2009. It's a history that includes the sacrifice of thousands and thousands of former MMI cadets who went on to serve, and in some cases give their last full measure in every war since MMI's founding right up to this present day. Today, MMI continues to provide an education that is much the same fundamentally as it has throughout MMI's long history. It is based on an approach that transcends time and generation, connecting us all the way back to the ancient Greeks, who believed education was to be of the mind, the body, the character, and the military arts. A philosophy adopted by MMI founder James T. Murphy, who established a classical whole person education that also honored American traditions and American military traditions, ideals and standards that were then and still are woven into the MMI educational experience. But today we also acknowledge the need to meet workforce demands most aligned with our military model, including expanded military career options, but also options for things like firefighting, EMT law enforcement, and the civil aviation career fields, as well as others yet to be determined. All of this on a historic campus that sits on 158 acres and is home to 38 buildings with an average age of 83 years, presenting constant challenges we must overcome if the long arc of MMI's history and its unique leader development contribution to this state and this country is to continue well into the future. After all, we cannot develop tomorrow's leaders with yesterday's facilities. So while we maintain this historic, stately campus, while we preserve the history that resides here, we must also continue to modernize to support the education needs of today and tomorrow, and the leader development and quality of life expectations of a modern-day college of our kind. This new dining facility will substantially contribute to this vision, serving a cadet population that resides entirely on campus with a modern 7-day-a-week, 3-meal-a-day dining experience in a locale where no other dining options of the necessary variety and scale are available. So the significance of this dining facility cannot be overstated. This will enhance our leader development mission. It will enhance quality of life. It will enhance retention and recruiting, all the while serving as a manifestation of our commitment to modernity and the seriousness of this college's intent to endure. And endure we must, so as to continue serving as a place where American ideals still matter, where military and civilian leaders are still developed, where the kind of people character of the businesses and industry say that they need in their workforce are still prepared, a place that values those things most often associated with the American military, like honor and respect, integrity and honesty, accountability and responsibility, followership and leadership, duty, honor, country, and of course those reflected in our own motto, truth, honor, and service. All of this so that when cadets leave here, they will leave better educated, they will leave as better people, with more advanced leadership skills, more mature character, and more ready to one day lead in the workforce and operate as valued members of the civic community. And this new dining facility will play an essential role in helping us to ensure that we can always make this so. I want to first acknowledge our biggest supporter and advocate, once again, Mr. Jimmy Rane. Jimmy, thank you for everything you do for us, and thank you so much for being here today. I also want to acknowledge my entire staff, in particular, our facilities director, Mr. Dan Sumlin, and the rest of the project leadership team that included Colonel Ed Passmore, Senior Vice President and Commandant of Cadets, and Mrs. Suzanne McKee, Chief of Staff and Vice President for Institutional Advancement, our MC today, and the one who organized this event. I also want to say thank you for the support of Governor Ivey, and ma'am, thank you so much for being here today. It's an honor to have you here on this campus. Thank you so much. Thank you as well to the HECS Board of Trustees, in particular MMI's Board Representative, Mr. Rane, who wasn't able to be here with us today, and the HECS staff, especially my boss, Chancellor Jimmy Baker. And although he could not be here today, I nonetheless wanted to note that in my nearly 15 years as MMI president, Chancellor Baker has provided MMI with by far the best support of any of his predecessors. From strong legislative advocacy for our funding needs to his full support and advocacy for this new dining facility we celebrate today, and you can let him know I said that. So with all of that, to our many supporters and many of those who are here today, on behalf of all of us at MMI, I'd like to simply say once again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Everybody look right here.
All right, we'll take a few and then go ahead and cut.